So remember, we're drawing the value shapes and not individual hairs. Also remember that it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, as it is hair. So as long as you are telling us that we are looking at hair, if the angles of the shapes are not perfect, it's not the end of the world. As long as you have the general idea and you are telling us that we're looking at hair. So you know how I'm always talking about shapes and values. And like right in here, we got some really dark values with some kind of crisp edges along this strand of hair. So we just want to make sure that those things are where they need to be so that this looks like hair, curly hair flowing. You know, you can take some artistic license, of course, because like I just said, it doesn't have to be perfect, matching the photo exactly. But you do have to make sure that you are telling us about the texture that we're looking at and that it's hair. And, you know, hair has certain qualities to it. And you can take this as far and as detailed as you like. I have students that really get into all of the values so that there's a lot of depth in their portraits. The more values you have, the wider range of value, the more lights, mids, and darks you have, the more three-dimensional an object will look. So if I get in here and I make this super dark, see how that looks like it's going way back underneath. So if I add some super, super darks to this, and then I keep my mids and I keep my lights, there's a lot more depth here than there is right here. So if you just have a couple of values, it's going to look more flat. And the more values you add, the more three-dimensional everything will look. So the question is what I tell my students, you know, how far are you willing to go to make your artwork really stand out and be very strong and really be a testimony to hard work? You know, they don't even have to know who drew it. All they know is the person that drew it really worked hard. If you've got a very wide range of value in anything that you do, I always tell them it's a testimony to hard work. The object, the art, will speak for itself. So you can shade all this in because there aren't even, you know, there aren't any bright whites here. You can shade this in and then go in and put the darker areas. So I am just drawing the shapes, and then I am giving them a variety of values. Making sure that the direction of the shapes makes sense. These hairs down here, this section is very, it's a very thin layer of hair, so it looks fuzzy, so you just draw it fuzzy. Just fuzzy, fuzzy, fuzzy like this. And then put some dark areas in the middle of it. And you will have some very nice fuzzy looking hair. Once you really latch on to this whole shape and edge and value thing, you can draw anything very easily and with a lot of confidence. I think these values need to be darker. I'm always thinking about my value scale. I always like to go in at the end and put some really dark shapes in some select areas, because that'll even make the depth of the hair, the dimension, look even deeper. So just find a couple of values in the value scale. So I just find some places in the reference photo that are super dark, and I just really make those dark. And then that gives me a lot more dimension in whatever object I'm drawing. All right, so there you have it, curly hair. Thank you so much for coming you so much for watching my tutorial. I hope you have a wonderful day. This is Tiffany Fox from Mrs. T. Fox Resources. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.